Welcome to another edition of Daily Airline News, focusing on the loss of Air India Flight 171. I'm Geoffrey Thomas, and I'm delighted to say, joined by my co-host Richard Godfrey in Frankfurt. Good morning to you, Richard.
And good afternoon to you, Geoffrey.
Thank you. Viewers, this episode is called Missing Aircraft, episode 199. 8 Air India Boeing 787 aircraft have not been seen in recent weeks. 7 are parked and 1 is stored. On the 20th of June 2025, Air India announced that it will reduce US flight frequencies, thus Delhi to San Francisco to drop from 10 times weekly to daily, Delhi to Chicago O'Hare to reduce from daily to 3 times a week, and Delhi to Washington Dulles will to go down from 5 times weekly to 3 times per week. The move comes as the carrier continues enhanced safety checks on its wide-body fleet following the June 12 Boeing 787 crash, which killed 241 passengers and crew and 29 people on the ground. This follows also the dropping the following routes indefinitely to Abu Dhabi, Amman, Tel Aviv due to the Middle East conflict. Meanwhile, Air India has announced cancelling Delhi to Washington Dulles route altogether from October 1, 2025. Richard, how has the crash of Air India Flight 171 affected Air India?
Well, it's caused a complete rethink of the India business strategy. We're showing a screenshot of the Air India Boeing 787 daily flights from 1st of May up until the 30th of August. It's tomorrow, so we're including those flights scheduled for tomorrow. Up until the 12th of June, there was an average of 55 Air India 787 flights every day. And since the 12th of June, the average has gone down to 34 Air India 787 flights per day. And it took a huge dive after the 12th of June, recovered within a week or two, and is now down to about 27 Air India 787 flights a day.
So, Richard, how many Boeing 787s does Air India currently have?
Well, it has 33 Boeing 787s, that's 26 -8 and 7 -9. And since the 1st of May, they have operated 5,085 flights. The major international hub is Delhi, and the key destinations for 787 flights are Frankfurt, Dubai, Paris, London, Singapore, Vienna, and Sydney. We're showing another screenshot of the Air India 787 destinations from Delhi in the last 4 months, and the number of departures in total. You can also fly direct from Mumbai to Frankfurt and Dubai on a 787, and from Ahmedabad to London, from Amritsar to Birmingham, but no longer to London from Amritsar, and from Bengaluru to London, and from Goa to London.
So 8 Air India 787s are parked or stored at the moment. Can you give us some more detail?
Yeah. So VT-ANM was parked on the 7th of May, and that was before the crash on the 12th of June. But since the crash on the 12th of June, another 6 have been parked. I'm showing a screenshot with a list of the aircraft. And so ANM hasn't flown since the 7th of May, ANN since the 12th of July, ANE since the 15th of July, ANG from the 25th of July, ANA from the 5th of August, ANH from the 14th of August, and ANT from the 22nd of August. And there is also one 787-9 TSQ, which hasn't flown since the 15th of August. So I wonder what's going on.
But Air India, of course, has started a wide-body refit program for its legacy 787-8 aircraft. Does this have something to do with it, maybe?
I guess it must do. So, as you say, India announced a $400 million retrofit program, and the first aircraft, VT-ANT, arrived in Victorville in California on the 24th of July, 2025. A second aircraft is scheduled for October 2025, and both of those will return to service in December. And all 26 of their Dash 8 aircraft are scheduled to be run through this retrofit in the next couple of years. And what they're doing is putting in new interiors and new seating, but this time in three classes: a business, a premium, and a standard economy. And they're also upgrading the aircraft systems and the avionics to the latest standards. So India are investing heavily in upgrading their Boeing 787-8 fleet. So meanwhile, all of the North America routes, for example, are being operated by Boeing 777 or Airbus A350.
Mm. So Air India, of course, announced in 2023 a Tata mega deal to buy 250 Boeing and 220 Airbus aircraft. It was the biggest order in Indian history.
Yeah, incredible, massive order. And Air India has firm orders for 20 Boeing 787-9s, which is part of that mega order. And we're showing a screenshot of a new Boeing 787-9 VT-AWA at Boeing's Charleston facility. So they're really going ahead with the Boeing 787. And in the short term, it would appear their strategy is to reduce the 787-8 until the retrofit program concludes. And then in the medium term, 2026, 2027, introduce the new Dash 9s like VT-AWA, and then restore and expand the Dreamliner flying. And long term, so beyond 2027, a more three-tier wide-body strategy appears to emerge. A Dash 8 for the thinner international routes, Dash 9 for the denser European, Asian, Australian routes, and then the A350-900 and the 777-300ER and 200LR for the North American and the ultra long haul routes.
But at the same time as buying these new 787-9s, existing 787s are being parked. It seems like a lot to be parked.
Yeah, we're showing a screenshot of the parked fleet. I can only assume that they are waiting for the upgrade program, but that is a lot of expensive aircraft to keep parked somewhere. And if the first one is already in California and the second one is coming in October, you would think they would successively in November and December and January and so on roll out these 787-8s that are scheduled for this retrofit program. And I find it strange that there are already seven parked somewhere. We don't know exactly where, Mumbai or Delhi International Airport. So it's a bit of a mystery.
But why would Air India take a 787-9 out of service?
Yeah, that really is strange that Dash 9 is out of service, and I can only assume that they're waiting for spare parts for a repair because it's a pretty new aircraft, relatively new compared with the Dash 8. And I can only promise that I will see if I can find where it's parked or stored and watch for it to return to service. And meanwhile, we just note that 7 aircraft have been taken out of service since the crash on the 12th of June, 2025.
One has a feeling that possibly they've been taken out of service to have some corrective maintenance done to them that possibly relates to that crash.
Yeah. So DGCA did announce the preventative maintenance to go check all the aircraft, but maybe, and they say they didn't find anything of significance. But then this story contradicts that. And
Mm.
you would then be led to assume that they did find on these 7 aircraft issues of significance to force them out of service and to, as you point out, require corrective maintenance.
Mm. Yes, there's more, I think, to this story than meets the eye of reduced services and refit. The numbers don't quite tally because the 777s have got to be refitted as well, not just the 787. So most of their 777s have got to be refitted with the new interior. So it's a massive program. So yeah, there's a few question marks there.
Yeah, the 777 program has been delayed because of the urgency to bring the 787 program forward. So
Mm.
you're quite right. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes. And these placating statements all the time, well, we've inspected everything and haven't found anything of significance. Um, it just doesn't add up. There's a reason why you park 7 aircraft, and you don't do that because they're very expensive to own and to operate. And as long as they're parked, there's no revenue.
Yeah, indeed. Mind you, we've seen some pretty shoddy interiors of some aircraft of Air India, and maybe looking on the more positive side from an Air India perspective, maybe they've just taken the decision that these aircraft are in such bad condition in the interior side of things, they just got to pull them out of service because they've had some terrible publicity from bloggers who have photographed everything that's awful on board, and there was a lot that was awful. So maybe that's part of the deal.
Yeah. And what I also wonder about is the booking levels on Air India, whether the booking levels have gone down, so
Yes.
hence they close certain routes or reduce certain routes. Um, but of course, that information is held very tightly by Air India, and I couldn't find anything in the internet on booking levels currently.
And we also know more widely that air travel to the United States is down right across the globe. That's a major trend right across the globe because of the what's going on in the US. So people are shying away from the US as a destination. So that may be also playing into the dynamic of all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to research this one further, I think,
Mm.
Geoffrey.
I think we will. We are. Yes, indeed. So, Richard, look, thank you very much indeed for this insight into the missing 787s. I'm sure our viewers will have some ideas, and I'm sure some of our aviation oriented viewers will probably come up with some answers for us too. So, we will return on Monday. I'm really sorry, viewers, but Saturday and Sunday, Richard and I will not be here. but we will be back on Monday and to answer your questions relating to this episode and, of course, anything else. So, Richard, thank you very much indeed for the insights into this episode.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
And viewers, please subscribe to us. Please join our new membership program if you feel inclined. Love to have your support. Please like us. Please leave those wonderful comments. We love them. They're chicken soup for the soul. And please do leave those great questions. Even if they challenge us, we're up for it. And we do look forward to your company on Monday. And have a great weekend wherever you are in the world. Take care.